So welcome back. We were talking about Namdan. I mean, there's many people who really like to listen to Mr. Puri and in the past and watching videos even today, and never had the opportunity to be initiated by Mr. Puri. Master had many plans, in 2020, and later on, March, April, and so forth, all this changed because of the COVID restrictions at the time. And Master passed away in December. He did make preparations for all of that year before he passed away. So these masters, they have to do this. They have to make these preparations, and that doesn't mean anyone knows about that, except the people involved. So this is a very valid question in this respect. I can answer this indirectly, that I spoke to Nick and I asked him to update a website. We have Ishwar Puri Santmat website. There's a page, and I believe it's called Santmat. Correct, Nick?
Yeah.
Santmat page. This is the page when you're going to see some pictures with me and the master, and Grace and I with the master and so forth. So I asked Nick to add initiations into that page. So you can go just check it out, Ishwar Puri Santmat, these different pages, because we're doing updates. So let's say someone was looking at that a year ago or half a year ago, that may not reflect what is there today, because we're working within the merge, so to speak, without going into details what that merge is. And we also updated that on the 22nd, we're going to have personal interviews. These interviews will be between whoever sign in. This will be private Zoom interview. That will be interview I will participate in, and the person who is signing for that interview. There's a reason I'm doing that. And I have a very specific reason why I am doing these interviews, or planning to have those. So I spoke about a few things about 7 months ago. So someone who is in the morning, or
it will be the night for India.
Australia would be in the morning.
Australia, that's more hours. That's 17 or so. That's 5 hours or something. What about Africa, like South Africa?
Africa will be evening.
Yeah.
I'm presuming it's 5 p.m. or 6.
So we're just gonna keep 11. I know there's a lot of different groups they have in Bandara on the 23rd. And I was looking at that, but Grace and I, we decided to just have it at 11. Let everyone be, there's, we all were where they were supposed to be. Ishwar Puri Santmat is not about competing with anybody. who has more listeners, who has a listeners, who is who and who is not. But we just made this update. So this is the great opportunity for someone who is like a real seeker. And I think the other opportunity will be Great Master Bandara. I haven't decided about that yet for sure. So is this December 23rd, and the next will be December 23rd, 2023. But let's see. I have this. Okay, let me put this. There's a lot of things going on the internet. And this is after last satsang, there's a lot of things start going on the internet. And this is something it doesn't concern you, but something I deal with. Okay, so this is very there's I don't want to go into details, but this is something I pay attention to it, and this is something it's my seva to pay attention to it. So that's why we're making these changes. So that would be the best. I will have a personal interview, whoever will sign in. There's going to be one person, I have one interview. If there's going to be two people, there's going to be, more people. It depends how many people, then I will know how much time we can have for interview. And this would my only take this very seriously. I take this extremely seriously. So we go from there. This is on the website. Anyone who wants to do this, please contact Pranay. Okay, so there's more questions. Let me take that.
5 questions, Cezary Ji.
5 questions, 5?
5 questions. Should I?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, first question. Last satsang was 10 hours, 10 and a half hours.
Sure. Cezary Ji, the first question is, are the exercises, these questions are from the same person, it's from Nathan. Are the exercises Cezary Ji gave on the pituitary and pineal gland okay for non-initiates to practice?
I don't see why not. I mean, I'm just simply trying to refer to how to find the center. So this is basically something simple: how to find out the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and the connection between. But these glands are located in the physical body, in the pin body. Okay, these are real glands located. So my idea is, the idea is to give you kind of imagination. This is physical imagination to kind of locate this, to help you out to locate the real center. Okay. So yes, I mean, there's no restrictions. You don't have to be initiated to practice that. There's some other forms of yoga which do practice this. They will use the tongue and touch the. I mean, there's hundreds of many different techniques. No, it's okay.
Second question.
Yeah.
If a non-initiate practices the single eye meditation, does he take it with him when he dies, or is it a waste of time to meditate if one hasn't met a PLM in person? If a non-initiate practice, should I repeat it?
there's no waste of time when you're seeking. I mean, I don't see how the seeking it is a waste of time. And that's what we call seekers. We're seeking the true liberation. So seeking with love and devotion is the answer. This is not the only aspect of this is some let's say Gurinder Sen, he will say not until you initiate it. I mean, if you listen to his question and answers, he's the Korean master of Bias. I heard that some time ago. I was listening to that, and they asking him the same questions, and he answered to that is no, just wait until you initiate it. I personally don't see, if you want to meditate, there's many forms of meditation, people, transcendental meditation and all this. The only thing is, that unless you won't be able to verify, it's a mind, so you will be dealing with the mind. All these aspects are part of the mind, 100%, just to be aware of that. But and going within, it will help you. But to cross some of these regions of the consciousness or within the consciousness, they call this gates or doors, like a 10th door, 11th door, 12th door, and so on. My understanding is you need the master because you'll be deceived. You can go to astral, be totally deceived. Even those who are initiated are deceived. So now, if you're not initiated, what's the possibility? You may have great experiences, but these are not experiences to get these are temporary experiences. Let me put it this way, and this is they will hold you unless you're with the master. Now, some of these regions, according to these masters, it's not possible to cross without the perfect living master. The regions within the mind, many people have astral experiences. They have dreams, they have astral experiences, they have near-death experiences and all that. Are these true, or are those experiences to reveal the truth to you or deceive you? That depends on situation and on the person and so forth. There are hells and there are heavens there. This is Satsang too, for people who practice what we practice. If they are at this stage, Master speaks about that. If you do not resolve all these issues you have here, you have to continue on astral. The best way, I always say, and so is my master, wrap up everything in this life. That's why I spoke before in this satsang about present. This present life is most important. Don't look in the future. What can you do or you cannot do? Don't look in the past what you did or not did. Was I good or was I bad or this and that? Because if you could really see your past lives, we all experience all of this, all of it. In that sense, so look at the present, specifically the present, and concentrate on this. This is a great opportunity, but most, if many, if not most, if not all, will miss this opportunity. To have this opportunity to be initiated by someone like Mr. Puri, it's a very rare. I can tell you that. So, but even if you initiated or wasn't initiated by Mr. Puri, you got to do your duty. Most people think, oh, it all ends. Now it's just no matter what I do. No matter what I say. I spoke about this about our satsang, which is the karma. Karma. Actually, Mr. Puri speaks about the same. I will speak some things about the satsang. I will look at the phone and Mr. Puri talk will pop out, and he's speaking about I said, Grace, this master speaking about exactly the same thing, And I never heard that from Mr. Puri, because I attended every month his satsangs, but it's not possible to attend all of them. So yes, this is. I'm personally. I have no right to stop anyone from singing. That would be a huge deceit on my part if I told you, no, you can't do this or you cannot do that. Just keep in mind that the mind will play the tricks on you. The mind plays the tricks on you constantly. Even people who are speaking to you, people who present themselves as the masters, people who are making promises to you. This is the simple trick of the mind. To come across someone who can really trust, that is very rare. Extremely rare. Most will lie. Most people will lie to you. Well, okay, so what is the reason? Why would they lie to you? The reasons are either they seek power, they seek recognition, they seek money from you, or they ignorant. They just don't know. They making up stories, but they have no verification within. So someone who, let me put this way, someone who can verify from the region beyond the Van Vargufa, and this process is totally different. There's no single person in the satsang who knows this process. So it's not like something easy you can do. How do you know? You don't. I mean, unless you can really go within and verify this. Now, this verification process beyond the mind is something totally different. It has nothing to do with what everybody's talking about. That it doesn't even work like that. It's not dependent on words. And I already told you too much. Maybe it is still. Let's don't be delusional that the real process is like you can speak about. The awareness, the consciousness. So the best we refer to this, you gotta go beyond the mind, then you know. Or you gotta go to Daswandvar, and then you know. Really? Do you think many people can just go to Daswandvar across Van Vargufa, as this masters are explaining, on their own? There are many called souls stuck in eternity in Mahashunya. They're begging for master to take them out of that. So, I mean, this is metaphor. So we become delusional. There's many people, it's very easy to become delusional. And part of that is all these promises you get. And that's why it's most important part is to deal with the real master. And doesn't matter how he looks. If he can have 8 hunchbacks on, he could be a cripple, Doesn't matter. He can be living in a cave. If you have opportunity to speak to someone like that, you won the lottery, because person like that will not lie to you. So when you look into the eyes, they will not be like blinking, talking to you or trying to deceive you. It's easy to, each of us has still this critical faculty left, that when you're with somebody, you can feel if this somebody is telling the truth or he's totally, lying to you. And guruship is a big business. Let's don't kid us. I've been in India, I've seen it. How big business, this is huge business. Many temples, many churches, many everything. So do you want to follow someone like that? That is your choice. My recommendation, if I can recommend, follow someone who is Rakashta Baka. The story of that. King Janaka, and all that. Follow someone like that. But they may not look what you expect. But if they tell you the truth, if they reveal the truth, if they, you know, then you're lucky. Please understand that the masters, they treat you individually. If you go to the master and start lying to him, you know, don't expect that his master is just gonna reveal everything to you. According to, when you go to the master, your state of consciousness, your state of awareness will be reflected by the master. So the masters are peripias. You will receive the answer according to your state of consciousness. So if you are false, if you go just to, I mean, I'm not talking about testing someone, testing master, okay, this and that. I'm talking about like you are not honest with the master. Master is gonna love you, but don't expect that he's just gonna tell you everything. He will tell you what you're ready for or what you are seeking. If you're seeking money, that will be this master is gonna act accordingly. I seen it. So if you're seeking outside, you get Dera. Like the Dera and Bruce, as brilliant as we speak. These are for people who are seeking outside, and that's like everybody. So basically, and I'm not like criticizing people seeking there outside, but if you go deeper into Santmat and practice Shab Yoga, sooner or later you find out that anything here will hold you here. It has to do with attention and some samskaras, okay? So anything outside will hold you here. Actually, Sancharan said, and this is on the record, he said that if you have zero attachments here, nothing can force you back. This is Charan Sen, okay, saying. Sancharan Sen, who was the master, I believe 51 to 90, was master of Vyas. He's the one who make arrangement for Mr. Puri and Toshi to get married. So I'm pretty familiar with Charan Sen because I've seen a lot of records and a lot of pictures, private pictures, Charan Sen and all these different masters, which it's impossible for anyone to see. It's not possible. I seen it because I had me and Grace, we had the opportunity. So we're speaking from totally different point of view. When I asked the master, for example, about the Dera and Bruce, I said, well, why they building like that? Because this whole set, he said, because his answer to me was this, because they do not know how to go inside. Yes, or within. I'm giving exact words. They do not know how to go within. Speaking about Sangat, so that's why they're seeking the Dera. This was the answer to me. And on the occasion I asked, should I be involved in that? And he said no. He said no. He's well, you're doing enough. That's what he said. Don't get involved in that. Now, am I against building Dera and Bruce? No, no, I mean, who cares what my opinion is, what I say? I try to give advice on many different aspects to some people. Many people will just disregard, and that's fine. But I'm not against anybody or anyone. I was told that one of the satsangs by very prominent satsangi, well, that you don't understand, why people from India, they have a different views, the caste system, and they seeking, Dera, we need the Dera, we need this, we need that, people like to eat and all this. And I am personally not seeking that. Neither does Grace. We like a private life. So I'm not seeking there outside. My understanding is from being with the master, the real Dara is in here. And this is where we should concentrate. The master speaks about invest in the real Dara. Okay, he speaks, this is a talk by Mr. Puri. Just go and if you want to go into real Dara, something you can take with you. You cannot take anything outside. I tell you one thing, once you die, everything disappears. Everything that you know right now ceases to exist from the point of view. So nothing you'll be able to take with you. So this is the story about Mr. Police talking about Alexander the Great, and this hand, outside the coffin and all that. You can listen to the story as Mr. Puri explained, very good story, but this is how it is. Not even Alexander the Great could take anything. He had all the riches of the world. But some of these masters, they will explain. I can give you the exact who and how, but generally speaking, that anything outside will hold you here. Good and bad. It creates the karma, so even the good will hold you here. So these things have to be resolved, and in my case, Mr. Puri did that. I want to tell you details and so forth. That's why I am not crying that I don't have many friends. Okay, neither Grace or I have many friends, and the reason this is the karmic reason. Because this knots on the rope, they will just dissolve. So it's all karmic relations, including all of it, including the satsangis or sangat. So all these groups, even when Mr. Puri left, they still have a karma between themselves. That karma has to be resolved one way or the other. And I always caution everybody, be truthful and be a good man, take care of your family, love everyone, your brothers and sisters, but that doesn't mean you have to fall for anybody, whatever anybody says. Just use your critical faculty, because this is faculty given to you. Because you can follow someone, like I said in the story, the sheep needs the shepherd. People are like they say, people are sheep, and they need the shepherd. But many times the shepherd is the best friend of the butcher. He will make a sheep fat and look and all this and that, and then send to the butcher. So we have to be very careful in that aspect, because no one is going to pay your karma. No one, I mean, you're responsible. We are all responsible for what we do in that aspect. Now, what is the karmic relation when you initiate it? I explained that in some other satsangs, as Mr. Puri explained. Now, these explanations I give to you, it's based on my experience. I mean, you may have a master who may tell you something different. And I also explained that in some past satsangs. So most people ask me the questions. I already give the answer to these questions. They just do not listen to what's published on YouTube on the Ishvara Puri Sanmat. So it's been 2 years now, and I spoke months ago that we start speaking about we go into different phase. When I speak, when I say today, this is my last satsang, I mean for this year, this is my last satsang. I have a different plans for next year, and that will be probably Great Master Bandara and Mr. Puri, my Master Bandara. So that will be April the 2nd, and the Bandara the 23rd of December to 2023. So I have my seva, which I am at the point I either fulfill that seva or not. And the grace is telling me that, this is Cezary. I mean, you gotta do what you promise the master. And so that's we're going into the different phase next year, because everything flows from within. You know, every single word I say, I mean, I won't be able to say if I didn't have the senses. I didn't have a triassial form and so on and so on. So this is the true seva, trying to help each other and trying to help other brothers and sisters. I will concentrate on this other aspects, which I mentioned a little bit, and the other aspects for next year. That will be up to my master. No, I mean, how this process works and who makes decisions, that's on the grace now right now. So maybe that would be a good idea. My first satsang was in February 2020. I had the first satsang, and master was sitting right next to me, and he said, "Go ahead," to me. And I had some serious questions. I mean, if you think these are serious questions, I had like more serious questions, and I like looking at the master, and he said, "Go ahead." And that was like an hour or 2 hours or whatever. And ironically, some of these questions I hear a little bit too. And I spoke to friends of mine like Nick and Lena, Pranay, or Sarvanan. All these are very good questions. Unfortunately, we have no opportunity to get the answers for that. But if they will conduct some of the satsangs, that will give them opportunity to that flow, open up, because it really opens up from within. But this process actually opens from within. So it's like the door, which opens the one way. We push in against when the door really opens, and it's overshadowed. We put the pressure, but nothing happens. So the real meditations, the real techniques, you know, maybe we have. I was planning to have a workshop on that, but this will have to be arranged maybe sometime next year if we are still around in that sense. So I've been doing this for 2 years with help of my friends of mine, you know, who are part of this Ishvara Purisanmat. But it's time for me to start concentrating on my real seva. And I decided to start doing that from December. And so we go from there. Okay, what's the next question?
Next question is, what is the value of the darshan of a PLM on a live video satsang, such as YouTube or Zoom?
Well, there's always value. There are many different explanations to that. Mr. Puri explained that to have a real value, you have to meet the master. He explained that, and there's a whole satsang I speak about that. So basically, if you had the darshan of, let's call someone who is the master. Okay, let's take example, Mr. Puri. He was, to me, he proved he was a perfect living master. And there's no doubt. I mean, in my mind, I cannot come up with anything. I mean, try this, try that, because he proved it to me. And this is not something I ever heard anyone speaking about. I never heard anyone in the group, not even the masters, speak about something like that. Never. So I and Grace are the only ones. I'm not saying, I'm speaking from my own perspective. So when you had the darshan, like in Mr. Puri, you saw him in person, you had the darshan. That is different, because then when you watch the videos, like YouTube videos, you can kind of relate to as you saw him in person. Now, if you had a trishti of someone like Mr. Puri, that's when he looked into you and you look into his eyes, as explained, that is even more different. So if you never saw someone in person, it is just a pure mind. It's the mind making the picture, based on the picture, not on the actual experience. So if that was the truth, there would be no need for perfect living master. Living means in the master having physical form. Now we are not disputing the master is a Shabbat, a Shabd, or Santkuran. We're not disputing that. But it's hard to even meet someone who even understand what that means, because the real Shabbat is not even audible. You not experience that through any senses, whatever. So most of us refer to something we know nothing about, okay? And we call that the real master. Oh, the physical form of the master is not the master, it's the Shabbat, it's the inner form. Not knowing even what the Shabbat is. So they will refer, oh, it's a radiant form of the master, that's what stays with you and so forth. But the radiant form is just the form of the master. The true radiant form is form of Satpurush. I mean, to experience true radiant form of the master, you have to merge into Satpurush. When the asura form is, it's also temporary, just like a physical form. It has a longer lifespan. So generally, we accept the inner form will be with you forever. Let's say if you initiate it. But to really grasp this concept, you have to cross Bandvargufa. I don't care when anybody say, unless the person crosses Bandvargufa, this is not just my teaching. Masters are speaking about that. There's no possibility. You can tell me anything. You can tell me anything you want, and so what? Because you have to cross that to really understand what is the real show, and where it ends, and where it starts. So my understanding, let me put it this way, general understanding for Sangat is this master says, oh, the radiant form of the master is the form will be with you forever. But that can be only exemplified and experienced through the permanent radiant form. And that is the radiant form, beyond, not just beyond the mind, but that is the form of the first true manifestation, what you will call, and we call that Satpurush, a perfect being. And I said many times the true initiation is merging into Satpurush. No many will tell you that the people mostly think of the true initiation is the next region above, which is a region when you're in the physical body. But my understanding, the true initiation is actually merging into Satpurush. So is the true Satsang. The true Satsang is the company of Satpurush. Most people, I'm going to get in trouble. I already got in so many troubles because so many things I say, people are just like, oh, well, Cezary is talking about this and that. They don't want to listen to it. So that's okay. Okay, you want to hang around on the Asura regions and go to Asura Sachkhand? I'm the last person to hold you from that. I'm not going to fight with someone, have arguments about, okay, well, this is Sachkhand, this is Sachkhand. Each region has its own Sachkhand. And when you're there, you think you're in the highest. And you think you were initiated by the perfect living master and all this and that. And then you find out, and you will, I mean, you were there, you wouldn't even know it. So we're not here to try to steer argument with anyone. I support everyone according for their own state of consciousness. In other words, the human times, you got to do what you feel is right. From my perspective, I encourage everyone to reach the true Satsang, not the one on the causal region. And I explained that. I don't want to repeat myself too many, but I explained that too. So that is where these masters, the real masters, with the real power of Namdan, operate from. I mean, there are hundreds of people, masters can initiate you to this and that, or make claims to this and that. I'm referring to the real. When I speak of the master, I said that many times before. I mean, perfect living master. Now he can be perfect living master, and then he can be, perfect master. So what is the difference, perfect master and perfect living master? The perfect living master is the one who has, let's call it, has this assignment to bring the souls back to the true home. And this is just a metaphor because you never left. So cannot, leave. He never went anywhere. So it's just a matter of experience. It's a matter of the surat or attention. Not your attention like you have it now. I'm reading the book and taking an exam from it or something, some knowledge. No, this is the different attention. This is what many of these gurus call actually soul. Ishvara Puri Sadma, my concern is only about Satsang as Mr. Puri reflected. I'm not concerned about else or anyone claiming I'm the successor of Mr. Puri or I'm a successor of that master or some names someone mentioned here. I have zero concern about that. Everyone is where they belong. So when Mr. Puri left his physical form, let me explain something to you. Mr. Puri left everyone where they belong. Exactly. Master made arrangement and everyone from the Sangha is where they belong. In other words, is where they were seeking. The one who belongs to be his successor is his successor. The one who belongs to do this kind of seva or that kind of seva is there. So is everyone else. So is all the karmic connections. Everyone is where they belong. So from that perspective, for me, let's say as Cezary, trying to intervene or change someone or force someone, or believe me or don't believe me or this or believe that person or follow this person or that person, I have zero interest in that. I have a zero interest in creating a karma, more karma. Do I have opinion? Yes, I have opinion. I state my opinion every day with grace. So was the master. My master had also opinion about everything. He knew everything. He knew who is who is pretending, who is a true seeker, who is pretending to be seeker, and the past life, how this works, Okay, let me explain something else to you, if I may. You give me this opportunity. On this part of Sant Mad, there are two major paths on the Sant Mad. The one path is the grace. It's the grace of the master, and everything has to do with the grace of the master and the person. The other path is about seeking. So this first path is for someone, let's say his karma from past lifetimes let me explain this a little bit. So someone has this whole karma from the past lives, which make that arrangement in the current pralab karma. So without anything, the grace of the master is on that person. And I witnessed that myself more than once. I witnessed that myself for two people in Austin, Texas, privately. So this grace of the master has no limits. So this is one type of disciples. The other type of disciples of the masters are the seekers. They will seek actively the master. They won't be on his list. They will do things in life, watching videos, listening to that, or listening to the living master satsangs. They're actually seeking. And in that whole process, this karmic process will combine and they will become initiated. And so in other words, they have to do a lot in that sense. They have meditation, this and that, Siman. So this will be another group, people who actually awaken in this life and actively actually start seeking the master. And that's the second group, two major ones, parts. And the first one will be the ones who already come with all this karma, good karma, and this whole grace of the master, it's revealed to them. But this is not like, this is based on the past lives, okay? So the good part is they all wind up in the same place, okay? Let's put it this way. So in that sense, there's no difference. They all, hopefully if they listen to the master and so on, instructions, and so they all end up in Sachkhand. When I refer to Sachkhand, I refer to the real Sachkhand. And this is not the place, okay? The real Sachkhand is the state of consciousness. And the regions, going from there. So if you're interested in all the experiences of these visions, I mean, you can knock yourself out in Astral region. And you don't need the master to do that. I mean, the people, if you want to find out a lot about descriptions of what's going on in the Astral regions, this German mystic, I spoke to Nick about that. Steiner, was that the one, Nick? Rudolf Steiner, correct?
Yeah, Rudolf.
So, I mean, if you want to see description of what's going on astral plane, just go read or listen to what it said. Rudolf Steiner, he was a great mystic. Swedenborg was the other one. These are great mystics in the Western world too, not just in India. Going back to this many. If you're interested in that, but the best way to find out is just go there. The thing is, once you reach these higher regions, you lose interest in it. I mean, we have like zero interest in that. There's a story about this guru, this Swami, in India, and he at one point he got sick. He was a famous guru. He got sick, and he needed help. But instead of having the doctor, giving him outside help and this and what he was dealing with, he said no. That the answer to that is on the astral level. So he got cured actually by doing that. So, but this information he received was from the astral region. But the story is that he was this guru, high guru, but he asked his disciple to go and get the cure. The name of the cure can be applied, like physically to heal him with all these ailments he had. So they asked him later, and he got well. It was like herbs and stuff, if I remember correctly. So later they asked him, "Well, you're such a famous guru. I mean, you have these things and everything else, helping people. Why didn't you ask one of your disciples, good disciples, to go and get you the remedy from the astral and so forth?" He said, "Well, I am way above the astral. I'm in the operating now from causal, so I will have to step down from causal to astral." just my kind will have to shrink within that consciousness. So that's why I asked my disciple to get that for me, because that's what he said. That's why he used disciple to get from the astral. So we all have the philosopher's stone possibility, but everybody thinks of philosopher's stone. I operate from philosopher's stone. No, I mean, this is you have to be a master. And if you, let's say someone operates, he is the master. And if he is, he won't be saying these things. He will never, the real master will never say, "I am the master," or "Follow me." No, this is not how that works. The real master will not be standing on the corner of the street and "I am here," like some people in Sedona. They will wear this outfit and look like Jesus Christ, and they will say, "Oh, I'm a Jesus," So no, this is not what they will do. So the real master will sit back and observe, and because he knows the real show is with him. The real show is not even on astral. The real show, so to speak, is the level of the soul, and it's still an illusion. Once you go beyond, even that is the illusion. That's the first stage of illusion. It's the individual soul. But at least that gets you closer to the truth. So most people operate from this, not even from the astral. They operate from the pinned mind, or physical mind. The imagination is from this physical mind. So they will imagine things, and that's how it is. What time it is? Oh my gosh. So be very careful. I will say be very careful who you follow. Nobody wants to listen to that. So I said, Grace, well, we're gonna lose like more people attending satsangs. So
next.
Okay, what's the next question?
No,
Did I answer the question, by the way, or not? I lost it. Go ahead. I don't know even if I answered the question. What was okay? Go ahead. Next one.
If someone who is not initiated talks about a PLM or talks to a PLM, do you think that the PLM can hear him?
According to this masters, yes. The answer is yes.
Okay.
I just read this. No, I'm not going to be looking for it. I have the answer by the master. One of the master from the highest region, operating from the highest region. What that answer is. But I'm not going to be looking. So please understand that this is not how it works. How you think. Most people think. So this is very interesting how that works. Because in this higher region, there's no words. And so now we're going back to the master. what about the master? That relation, what master will tell you or not tell you. So what was the question? I mean,
last question, posted by Nathan. If someone comes to the master with disrespect and is having trouble forgiving himself, what can he do to help forgive himself for disrespecting the master?
so that again, someone goes to the master and with disrespect.
Yes, and is having trouble forgiving himself, what can he do to help forgive himself for disrespecting the master?
If he is the perfect living master, let's say, if he's the master, his love has to be, and it is unconditional. So master will forgive you because this is his nature. Now, are you able to forgive yourself? Or is someone able to forgive themselves for doing that? Ultimately, the love is unconditional love. Okay, let me explain this. To love the master, that's one thing, but to love the master unconditionally, that's something totally different. That is, if you want to reach Sachkhand for real, this is something you have to decide one day. Is your love unconditional or is just love? So turning this around to master to someone, the answer for that there has to be unconditional love. So the masters, Mr. Puri spoke about that many times. If you love them, they will love you. If you hate them, they will still love you. If you speak against them and so forth and so forth, they will still love you. If you kill them, they will love you. Mr. Puri says that. This is recorded on his YouTube, so that is your answer. Now, from the point of the person, that the guilt is in the mind, and that may affect the person. So this is the story. They will ask a great master, to pass the judgment of someone because of this and that. There are many stories. Mr. Puri speaks about those too, and he will refuse that. And it goes on paraphrasing. Don't put me in the company of the punishers. Keep me, put me in the company of the forgivers. So he says, I'm paraphrasing, okay. So the great master says, how can I punish them? Their mind already it's punishing them enough. So this great master said, don't put me in the company of the punishers. I am not. So to forgive someone, this is what they do. But the mind of the person, it will trouble you, and this is almost impossible to erase from your mind. They will stay to you to the day you die, because we can force ourselves to not to remember some things, but then years later we remember them like they happened yesterday. We thought, oh, okay, I forgot about this, doesn't exist in my mind anymore, it's gone. And then you're like, oh my gosh. So the love also means you have to have unconditional love to yourself, to be able to forgive yourself. Now, from the karmic point of view, anything we do, love or hate, it creates the karma according to these teachings. This is nothing new. So every actor, Mr. Puri even say what, not the thinking, but we consider do this in our mind, that already creates the karma. So I'm going by what Mr. Puri say. This is based on my experience with Mr. Puri. Someone who had the experience of being initiated by a different master, he may understand these things differently. There are current masters which will tell you only acting in Kali Yuga creates the karma. So anything I'm telling you guys, and this is maybe why many people don't like what I say, I'm telling from my own experience. As I experience being with the master, my concern is not what any other master say in that sense. I respect, let's say I respect some of them. The current masters are Abhyas and, the other master I met, but they are not my masters. Gurinder Sen Dillon, San Gurinder Sen Dillon is not my master. He did not initiate me. San Rajendra Sen is not my master. He did not initiate me. Mr. Puri is my master because he's the one who initiated me. And Mr. Puri is the one who calls this Great Master Initiation. Well, that's another subject where we're gonna, next year, if there are real seekers, there's a master for every seeker. Depends on what you're seeking. But we have to be able to forgive ourselves. And I speak from my own experience. But let me tell you, this is not easy. To forgive ourselves, it's not easy. This is maybe most difficult thing to do. And this is just this life. Imagine if you're aware of your past lives, things you did. Mr. Puri said, no, you don't. My advice to you, like Cezary, you don't want to know, because we all have a good and bad karma. Now, there's a story about one of the very prominent masters, and this disciple was really loving the master. He was one of his favorite and most advanced disciples of that master in Saint Mark. And one day the master went to his room, and there was like a bathroom. He started taking the bath, the master, and the disciple was outside. And as the story goes, I'm kind of paraphrasing here. He wanted to see the master so bad, out of his love. He wanted to see the master, so he went into the room. And the master was doing, he was taking, you don't take a bath with the clothes on, So he went and as the story goes, he gave a hug to the master. And he had this highest love and devotion to the master. So the story ends, he was forbidden to ever see the master again. The master forbid him to ever see him again. So it's kind of like between the, depends on the master. So I'm giving you two answers, but it is ultimately he was forbidden from, I remember, to ever seeing the master again in this life. But does that mean the master totally refused him? No, there's always not the life. I always say this, There's always another life. There's always another lifetime. There's no rush. And these are different stories. So it depends on the master. If you knew what Mr. Puri had to deal with, if you really knew, and very few people do know what he was really dealing with, you will be amazed. What kind of love we're talking about? Total unconditional love he provided to me, because some tanks he poured up with. There's no other explanation. As a man, as a human being, in that sense, I witness things which I could never be. If I speak about, a lot of people will get angry with me. But I witnessed that myself around my master, and he always forgive. He always forgive. Maybe he was most forgiving person I ever met. I tell you that. People try to steal from him. And he will still forgive. Many different things. People will leave him, being with him for a long time. They will accuse him for not, master promised me this, master promised me that. Instead of looking at themselves, that they are seeking the money or selling books or anything like that, or whatever. You and I have to understand that we all are where we're supposed to be when we belong. So there's no point of comparing yourself. But this guilt is in the mind. The soul has no, the guilt someone may have does not exist in the soul. And the true love, master's love, flows from that. From that region, not from the mind. Mind will always judge you, no matter what. And so this masters depends on the situation. Depends on the situation and who they dealing with. Powiedzieć im o to, co to master powiedział, że depends who talking to.
You said that.
Is it? So we all guilty of this one time or another. We all guilty of shenanigans or whatever things we did. We have a good and bad karma. So you won't be here now. Master is testing you. Master is testing everyone until the day you die. And we are testing the master. I mean, we're testing the master, master testing you, and master will act according to the person. So, so this is the master love is unconditional. It has to be. That doesn't mean the masters act like they're naive. They will fall for anything. People think the master doesn't know, they do. And the whole show is created according to their will, not to your will, although you think you're in charge. You think you can use the master and make hundreds of thousands extra money, and then you lose hundreds of thousands, a million. But this is not because the master. This is because of each individual. Look what happened to these businesses. So we think we are smarter than the master. No, you're not. We never was. You're not now, and you never will be. Not with perfectly with the master, because please understand, he doesn't. They do not look at you the way you look at other people. They don't see you the same way. And but they offer you friendship. Master offers you, I am your friend. This perfectly with master, they say, I am your friend first. Okay, I am your friend. I'm your brother. Or you my sister, or you my brother, and they offer you the friendship. They extend the hand to you. But in the same time, from the high spiritual point of view, they hold the whole universe in the palm of the hand. But they offer you that. And this offer is permanent, because if they perfectly with the master, it comes from the region which is beyond all of that. So that deal is forever. That is the permanent deal. Any delays are on the part of the disciple, not of the master. And the master look at your mind and you can see, okay, well, this person can handle this and this person cannot. And when they see 10 or 100 people, they speak in, they just take in like a generally what they can say. But this is the individual path. None of the brothers Satsangis are you going to take with you. Each of you initiated here, and including me, initiated by the same master. But this is individual path. Ultimately, it is. And Mr. Puri speaks about it, but nobody listens. I mean, he speaks about all these things. He spoke, nobody wants to listen. And I've been with Grace in the situation. The master will say some, and we will hear that literally, and no one, people around will not even register that. They won't even register, and they will be sitting in the same company. They will not even hear what master is saying. Literally, they will hear different, something different. And these are like I'm speaking to you now, or you speaking to me. These are the way you hear. So I go to the master later, privately, in his house, or I mean somewhere, and he said, "Oh, he will be very happy." And I told him, this was the great story. This was great, incredible satsang, and who was there speaking and stuff like that. He will say, "Yes, yes." It was a great great master. It was the great master speaking. But if you think there's like 100 people listening, and or 20 people, let's say, or 10 people, and they all get in it, no. Some of them will be just sitting and like they will not even, they're just like in a time delay. Okay, you look at this like you're in a different world, literally listening, and they will be sitting and like a slow motion, they will not be getting actually everything. So depends on it's not the master adjusts his message to the person. So depends on the state of consciousness this specific person experience. This is what he's gonna get. That's why the true at the one level, it's if you wanna, okay, Cezary, I want to know the ultimate true. Please tell me, this is we have on our website. We are seekers of ultimate true. To know ultimate true, you have to be the master. Let me tell you the other thing. No one knows who the real master is unless they are the master. No one. It's not even possible. No one knows who the real master is. To know who is the real perfect living master, you have to be the master yourself. So how do you know? Real, I mean, you know because of the pull within, the love and all the rest as we experience. But to really know, you have to be the master. It's not possible to know who the real perfect living master actually is. I mean, I can keep going and give you some more hints, but but that is not possible. So someone is going to the other person. Oh, okay, we think he's the perfect living master, or you think this person is the master, and the other say, yeah, he's the master, you know. And then they talk again in the cafeteria. Do you really think he's the master? And he was just he's initiated by the master, and then he said, do you really think he's the master? So to know who is really perfectly the master, you have to be established in such consciously. They call this gurmukh or whatever, but this is not even that. You have to be the real master. You have to be a master yourself to know who the perfect living master is. So these speculations are meaningless, totally. And everybody who declare themselves the master, you can scratch them right off, right there. There's no going back. There's no going back. Mr. Puri never said he's the master. And he said, I'm not the master. I don't initiate anybody. I'm just Savadar for my master. And that was it. So those who were initiated by Mr. Puri, now they have, okay, well, was he a master or wasn't he a master? Many people had those questions after the initiation or years after that. People at the echelon who are organizing the stuff around the country, they will come to me and say, Cezary, do you really think he is the perfect living master? And I'm just like, really? Honestly, you have questions like that? What does that mean? Basically what it means, they lack of experience. I came to the conclusion that this is a lack of the experience, the spiritual experience with the master. And that is the huge, that plays the huge role, because unless you have the true experience with the master, in other words, he revealed himself to you in that spiritual sense, who he really is. And this is the real experience. This is not like a dream or anything like that. Unless you stand in front of a Satpurush, okay, let me put this. I'm trying to give you an example. And have that kind of experience, you will never know. It will be always speculation. And that's what it is. Everybody speculate, and they get into the head that they know more than someone else. So it's I'll have these people claiming this and that, which is, I mean, who am I to judge? This is because this all can be verified. Every single word, whatever I'm telling you, you can verify it. If you're initiated by Mr. Puri, you can verify everything I say. Let me put it this way. There's nothing holding you from verifying that. So but most of us, we follow fools. And the question, like I said before, who is the bigger fool? The fool himself or those who follow the fool? You know, so this is the part of ignorance. So I'm trying to convey to you, don't be delusional and believe everything everybody says, like this is all beautiful and we love each other with this and that. If you spend any time in the Sangha, you know that some people love each other, Satsangis, Satsangis hate each other. Some will do anything, to help others. Some will stab the other Satsangis in the back. So let's get that straighted out. Some will complain, constantly complain about this, about that. They will go to the master and complain about that against the other Satsangis. And master, if you even had idea what stories Master Puri had to listen, you'll be amazed. Your jaws will drop. So let's not paint like this. We are all saints and angels, the ones we initiated. These are the same people. These are the same people who will be jealous or who spend more time with the master, not recognizing that these are the karmic reasons. Some other person may spend 2-hour interview, or 1 or 2 or 3. Some other person will be he's confident. But this comes from the whole picture. They have to see the whole picture, what happened before this life. And I'm trying to point to everyone in the satsang to have attention on the highest. Radha Swami, the highest. Anami Loka. I'm not trying to tell you to go less. Don't go less than don't have your attention on the Sachkhand and have your life reflecting that. But in the same time, we kind of have to be grounded too. I mean, you have to be grounded in this life, but don't take like like some people come to this country and they say they open the window and the trees outside with the dollars are going to flow inside, right? That's the story of what they were taught. So no, you have to you do your duty, wherever that is assigned by the master. So, but these people loving each other, hating each other, helping each other, stabbing each other. This is the same show. Mr. Puri speaks that this is the same people who were with the great master. Same people reincarnated today, not just 1 or 2 or 5. This is a whole bunch of us doing this again. Mr. Puri speaks of that on the record, on the YouTube. You can find out, I forgot which one that was, but he speaks about that. From his point of view, he explained he sees the same people who were with the great master in the past, acting the same. Which brings me to the point that don't be oversure about some things. Don't be oversure. Don't get your ego, and that applies to all of us, including to my ego. Let's not get the ego so high that we know everything more than anybody else ever knew, because. If Mr. Puri says that the same people who were initiated by the Great Master, which means they did receive the Great Master, let's assume they received the Great Master initiation. Mr. Puri speaks about, how come they are still here? Don't they supposed to never come back to the physical world? How come they still around here, hanging around Mr. Puri as the representative, as the Great Master? I'm just giving you a little tip. Please take that with you and Okay, so how is that even possible? Well, it's got to be possible. So why? Why the same people who are the great master around now, doing the same things? Why is that? And I addressed this answer to that some satsangs ago. I don't know if you're catching what I said or not, but so let's don't be oversure, but everybody's like so sure, okay, of themselves. To claim they're making such a grand claims, grander claims that Mr. Puri ever made. They try to convince you. They're making, now. So how come everybody is still around? And we're supposed to resolve this on the astral plane. So if that's the case, so why are we here? All of us, a bunch of, you think we just met? You think we just met? So why is that? So the other question is, are we of our own choice, own volition, or not? Did we choose that, or there's something else in the process of working here? If we're here and just to stab each other in the back or gossip about each other, I'm not sure that is the great way to go about again in this life. So any more questions? Did I answer this question or not? Because I'm losing the question disappear. I'm just talking.
All questions have been asked that were typed into the chat box have been asked Cezary Ji. So
okay, so I'm ready to wrap this satsang. Unless someone has anything else to. We have a half more hour, 10 o'clock. I would like to. So you have you and I will have a half hour to talk about Radha Swami. Thank you, everyone. And Nick, you can stop recording.